Hello and welcome back to Down the Track. It's day two of the test match between India and England. It feels like it's day seven, day eight, but yeah, it's day two. Again, a monster day for England. The piling up the runs, 423 for eight. That man, Joe Root. We were discussing last year, me and Don, my co-host, that should he be in the Fab Four, should he not be? But now there's no discussion. How are you doing, Brad? Man, what's going on?
Oh man, so disappointing. Another long day for India. I mean, the first two wickets went kind of quickly, somewhat. I mean, not necessarily very quick, but within 10 runs of their score from last night, both of them got out, Hasib and Burns. And then you start to look, okay, we have an opening over here, and we can kind of use that. And then Root and Malan, man, beautiful batting. Um, it was just very solid dominant performance from England. It could have very easily been in a position where it could have kind of opened up the game for India, but these two guys made sure that they made very dominant, and now with a 345 lead and with a couple of wickets just for them to go hammer and tongs tomorrow. If they get a few runs, great. If not, they have a pretty healthy lead. So it'll be it's a long road back. I don't think if there was anything, they needed England to be wrapped up really quickly on today in today's day, and that didn't happen. So it's going to be a long day for India, for a
You're
long test match for India.
you're not one of those guys in saying that if Dravidan Lakshman can do it, Rahane and Pujara can do it. You're not one of those guys. Huh? Eden Gardens
There's
2001.
a bunch of issues there and here.
But yeah,
Eden
man,
Gardens versus the Headingley is also a big problem there.
the most frustrating part was the wicket was so good to bat on. It looked so good. So that just 1 hour, 2 hours of madness just ruined the whole game for India in particular. I think it could have been a really close game because if India put on three, 400, I think England would have put on a good batting show as well. So it would have been a close game. But here, it just goes to show one bad hour and you're in the dumps. And that's exactly what happened with India. With the ball, not much there. I think Ishant Sharma was the poorest out of the bowlers. Yeah,
Easily. I felt
he's
like
getting
Siraj also in the first part was a little poor, but I thought he came back with a couple of wickets.
the entertaining part
Seemed a
about
little,
Siraj was the crowd is going after him. So like
yeah.
when he comes on to bowl, it's fun, and it's a good test for his character as well. Mental strength. So I think that's good. But yeah, in general, I think they just lacked energy. You could see from ball one after that 78 all out we mentioned yesterday, they just lacked energy. They didn't, and I think consistency. You have to. They were talking about it on TV as well. That South African length, like top of off stump, which India normally don't hit. They've become since that Australia tour as well. If you notice, not since, but it's been 2 years. But if you look at the Australian tour in particular, they've been aiming for the middle stump, leg stump, and they have that field as well. I think on a pitch like this, you need to be in that channel and just be consistent there. If you get hit, you get hit, but you have to keep bowling it there because one ball will get your wicket.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that they were a little bit on the pads after, like you said, they were trying. I mean, it was not that they were not trying. It was just that they were especially Ishan Sharma just were all over the place. They definitely missed Ashwin today because the pitch was dry. Jaddu was getting some purchase, so I'm sure that Ashwin could have gotten a lot more, and he's a thinking bowler, so he could have maybe maneuvered a little bit and maybe out thought the batsman, and that would have been important. But of course, it's all in hindsight. Everything is easier said than done. But yeah, I think overall very dominant performance from England and India. I don't see a way back for them.
You don't see a way back for India. Yeah, it looks difficult, and we don't know what the scars are going to be after this game. But let's just talk about a bit about the England batting. David Milan coming in after a solid opening stand by Hamid and Brent. We talked about them yesterday. They continued their form, and unfortunately, they got out. But then Milan and Root put up a partnership. Before I go on to Root, Milan coming into the test team, we thought his test career might have been over. More of a T20 one-day specialist, but he's shown that he can do it in the red ball format as well.
He's a proper technique batsman. I don't think I was surprised that he was dropped for the red ball cricket. I think his technique is pretty sorted for red ball cricket as well. And it was very nice to see that he was able to get these runs that he got a good odd 70. Just for his confidence and the kind of innings you need when you're on a comeback, just to get the confidence going, get the team on your side and stuff like that. So I thought pretty solid performance from Malan and. I mean, the less we say about, the more we say about Joe Root, it's not going to be enough. Joe Root is something else, man. What an enigma he is. He's been so phenomenal. Century after century, 3 test matches, 3 centuries. It doesn't matter, win, lose or draw. He's getting you the runs, irrespective of whatever it does. It doesn't matter, So hats off to him. Yeah, definitely in the Fab Four. I don't know if you want to call it Fab Five now, but he's definitely in the reckoning over there. Virat
I'm a
Kohli
type of guy who
and
lives in the moment, so I've been like hyping him a lot recently.
yeah.
But I think after Steve Smith, him and Williamson are right up there. It's between the two. For me, Root, the reason why I'm like putting him like maybe just above Williamson second is because he's done it now without the likes of Ben Stokes. He hasn't had that support which maybe a Ross Taylor provides for Williamson or Rahane Pujara provide for Kohli. It's not an excuse, but I just feel right now the whole batting lineup depends on him because we've seen the openers also not providing that support. Today was the first time where he came in with a proper platform, and you saw what he did, quick 100.
Yeah, quick 100. It was a nice 70, 80 odd strike rate too, so nicely done.
And he's done
Hats
it
off
in
to
the
him.
subcontinent as well. He's doing it in England as well. So I think it's fantastic right now. World class
Absolutely.
batsman, and it was a brilliant innings. If you just look at it from a neutral perspective, it was a fantastic innings. He's solid on the back foot. When he needs to drive, he'll drive, and shot selection is the key, right, in these conditions, and that's what he has. Unbelievable knock from Joe Root. Yeah, I think that wraps it up in terms of day's play. It was completely dominant from England. So tomorrow, India is getting all out, or what's happening, or do we see England putting on another 50, 100 runs like India did in the last test with the TL?
Oh man, Craig Overton was looking good for whatever
They can
little time
bat
he was.
Robinson and Overton.
Yeah, they I mean, they are batting till 10, so these two can put up a few runs. I have a feeling that a 400, another 50 runs is probably coming. So 400, and then I think India is going to get 300 and get all out.
So this game is going maximum day 4, but probably we could have a result tomorrow as well.
I think day 4 first session.
Day 4 first session. For me, Virat Kohli double 100. I think it's time. This is the perfect moment.
This is the moment. If he can do it, he can shut every single critic of his. If he can do it right now.
Before, like when Virat Kohli was in peak form, I used to be a bit nervous. As I'm a big fan of him, so I used to be nervous. Like, don't get out. Everything relies on him now. Now I've come to a point where like India, they have a lot of batsmen in and around the team. For me, it's an expectation. Even if it's the most toughest time, for me, I expect Virat Kohli to score 100 every game. It's been last game, the game before that, and now as well.
It makes two of us, man, big fans of him. We know that for sure. Just a little concerned with form right now, but this is the time, man. Virat Kohli, if he can do it,
if there was a time to shut up critics, this is the game.
This is the perfect game to do it. There's no other. He can walk out of there after a double century and literally say anything he wants to say, and no one can talk about it. And he thinks perfect time to do it. Perfect time to back everything that there's been a lot of talk about captaincy, about his batting, about a lot of things, about the team selection. This, that, get a double century, shut everyone up, take the next game on.
Yeah, I mean, it looks difficult now because of the form and the runs and the pressure. It's going to be difficult. Just from England side of things, of course, they're going to be looking at the fast bowlers to get the opening breakthrough with Jimmy Anderson there with the new ball. But we see that the pitch is really good for batting. It might deteriorate. There might be something in for the spinners, but there's a lot of talk around that this Leeds pitch doesn't deteriorate as much as maybe a Lord's or maybe another pitch in England.
Yeah, there's definitely that scope of, but we saw some spin for Jaddu today. So
Moeen Ali will come into play.
Moeen Ali will come into play. Joe Root can knock it around a little bit as well. He can turn his arm around as well. So there is some scope for them. And Moeen Ali, he's a proper thinking bowler as well. He will keep giving you those overs, and it's something that India will have to be careful. They can't be too carried away. They have to bat out their skins to have any kind of chance. I'm still thinking that even if they bat out their skins, they don't have a chance. But if there's anything, because a 400 run lead, it just makes it way too much. Because that means India has to score about 650 runs to even have any kind of scope. So
it's practically impossible to bat for
exactly.
2-3 days, right?
Exactly. So
yeah.
And it's not like day 1 pitch where you can expect, okay, the pitch is good, is 600 possibility. And day 3, 4, it's going to deteriorate. Even to give a chance for any kind of scope, it's like, and even like there is a result, and the only result possible is in India loss, because even a draw it seems far fetched because there's three
Yeah.
full days of cricket left.
There's no
So
rain. I was giving you the forecast earlier, and yeah,
and
we
I'm
were
so
so
upset.
excited
And the
with
one
that.
time when we need the rain to come through, it always lets us
Yeah.
down. But anyway, we'll see. I mean, they just have to take the loss, move on. The only thing is, I think if they get 300-400 runs in the next couple of days, just get that confidence back after the first innings debacle, and then just take Test match 4 and 5. In a positive stride, and so that they don't have that mental blocks, going into next the Test match. The biggest problem is now to just minimize the damage. I think if they can do that, then they'll be more ready for day four, for Test
Yeah,
match 4.
yeah, and just lastly, this crowd at Leeds is just unbelievable. Just promise me that when we go, if we do go to England ever to watch a cricket match, we will dress up as Mario and Luigi and watch it. Have you seen the fancy
Yeah,
dress
yeah, yeah,
competitions
yeah.
there? It's unbelievable.
Some good,
And the energy in it,
fascinating
Tess,
cricket.
this is more
Exactly.
energy than an IPL game at times.
Exactly. I mean, the interest of it's not. It can be a little bit bogging down. Today's game was a little bit more fast paced. I thought England was batting well,
Yeah.
and it wasn't like a 2 run per over kind of day. It was 3.5 almost. I think that they were run rate was so a little bit more fun. But I appreciate. I really respect the English fans. They're always out there. They will criticize you, but they will also back you quite nicely. So it's nice to see that for sure.
Yeah, brilliant to see crowds back. It's always the special part of our sport. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me. I will catch you day 3. It might be the final day, it might be the second last day, it might be the third last day. Let's see what happens. But yeah, enjoy the game. Hopefully, we do get to see a special fighting effort. If they go down, they go down losing India. I think even the England fans would want to see India put up a fight in the last inning. So let's see how that goes. Thank you so much for joining me. I will catch you after day 3.
Oh, looking forward to it.